Hello viewers, welcome to Home Cooking with me, Hema Subramanian. Today's recipe is a lovely tea time snack. It's potato bajis. Let's get started. Make sure you cut the potatoes into thin slices, but it shouldn't be too thin or too thick. It's just right, you can see. So I have just washed in water to remove all the extra starch. So for the bajis, we're going to make the batter. So take about 1 cup of besan, 2 teaspoons of rice flour, a pinch of salt, a pinch of turmeric powder, a teaspoon of chili powder, half teaspoon pepper, and a pinch of food coloring or kesari powder. Mix all this together. So I'm just going to gradually pour some water. Don't make the batter too runny. You can see the batter consistency, it's quite nice and thick. Only if it's thick, it will coat the slices well. Otherwise, it can become too runny and it might not stick to the potato slices. Take a potato slice, dip it in the batter, and make sure the oil is nice and hot and gently drop it. So there you have these absolutely simple and delicious potato bajis. It's a great tea time snack, or you can have it while having coffee, and a good accompaniment with this would be coconut chutney or a pickle. So enjoy this with your family and friends. Today's recipe is special vada. Now I've already made masala vada and keera vada. You can check out the links that are attached to the video for those recipes. But today's vada is with a little twist, that is chicken vada. Are you guys ready to get started? Well, I am ready to show you, so let's get started. First, I'm going to soak half cup of chana dal. Now this is 125 ml cup. Just wash it a few times and then pour enough water and soak this for a minimum of 1.5 hours. So take a small pressure cooker, gently put the pieces in. You can see I've taken the pieces with the bone. If you have boneless, you can use that as well, it's up to you. To this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste, season with a little salt, about half teaspoon should be enough, 1/4 teaspoon turmeric powder, about 1 teaspoon chili powder. So I'm just adding about half cup of water to pressure cook. Keep the flame on medium and cook for about 4 to 5 whistles. After 5 whistles, turn off the stove. You can see the chicken is cooked perfectly. I'm not going to discard this water, it's got all these juices in the stock. Turn on the flame, just leave it on high. I'm just going to reduce it till it becomes nice and thick. Now you can see how nicely the stock has been reduced. Turn off the stove and all this masala is stuck to the pieces. Now this is how you want it. Cool the chicken pieces and I'm just going to shred it. So just shred the chicken pieces like this. Doesn't matter if they are big chunks, because anyway we're going to grind them. After 1.5 hours, you can see the dal is soaked and swollen up nicely. Make sure it looks like this before you grind it. Just take a little and keep it aside. We'll be mixing that later. This is a very important step. We're going to grind all the ingredients. First add the soaked dal. Next I'm going to add the chicken, the shredded chicken. 1 large onion finely chopped, 2 green chilies chopped, a piece of ginger chopped, a few curry leaves, half teaspoon fennel seeds or soam, add a little salt. I'm just adding half teaspoon now, handful of coriander leaves. So we're going to grind all this together. Don't add any water. Make sure your vada batter is a bit coarse, you don't want it too fine. And if there's a little bit of this dal that's left, leave it, because you want that little crunch for your chicken vada. So finally I'm going to add the dal that I've kept aside. Just mix it in. So now your vada batter is ready. Take a little bit of the vada mixture, just flatten it between your palms. You can make large ones or small ones depending on what you want, or too thick. You can see the size now. I've flattened it. Make sure the oil is nice and hot. Gently drop it into the oil. Fry the vadas till you get a nice golden brown color. So there you go, you know how to make this delicious special chicken vada. It's very simple. You can make it as an evening snack or just as a starter. You can enjoy this vada. You can have it as is, but if you do want to have it with something to dip, you can dip it into tomato ketchup or maybe even mayonnaise. So do try and enjoy this vada. Hello viewers, welcome to Home Cooking with me Hema Subramanian. Today's recipe is a lovely snack. It's methi papdi. Let's get started and see what we need for the ingredients. For the methi papdi, I've taken about 1.5 cups of atta, that is wheat flour. To this I'm going to add a few ingredients, starting with some salt, turmeric powder, chili powder, cumin powder, half teaspoon, pinch of asafoetida powder or hing, just a few caraway seeds or ajwain. This is the core ingredient we have here. These are the methi leaves. See, these are fresh leaves that have been chopped up. This is the bigger variety of leaves. You have the smaller variety also, but I've used the bigger variety of leaves. Just using 1 cup of that. Mix everything. So add a little water and knead. Just drizzle a little oil. Just knead again. Just quick coating. Dough is nice and soft. Let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes before we start rolling it out. Take a little of the dough. So make sure you roll it out nice and thin. Only then it will be nice and crispy. So I'm going to use this cutter. You can use any shape that you want. I'm just going to prick it with a fork just on one side. It should do. Make sure the oil is nice and hot before you start frying the papdis. So now you can make this very simple and delicious methi papdi. It's a great snack to be had at tea time. You can make a batch and store it in a nice airtight container and have it when you have guests or at tea time and enjoy with your family. Now tea time is always a time for snacks, and I'm sure we make different kinds of snacks. So today I'm going to show you a very simple vegetable pakora. So let's get started and check out the ingredients. For the vegetable pakora, you can use different kinds of vegetables of your choice, but here I have a few vegetables, starting with onions, thinly sliced, cabbage, you can see it's thinly shredded, carrot. Now if you want to grate the carrots, you can grate them, beans, a few, thinly sliced, and I have a combination of green, red and yellow, bell peppers, I'm going to add that as well, a handful of coriander leaves, some salt, turmeric powder about half teaspoon, red chili powder 2 to 3 teaspoons. Now I have not added any green chilies, so instead I am adding red chili powder, 1 whole teaspoon of ginger garlic paste. First I am going to mix all these ingredients. So the key is to cut the vegetables nice and thin, so that way when you make your pakoras you will get it nice and crispy. Next I am going to add 1 tablespoon of rice flour, and I have 1 cup of besan, that is gram flour. I am going to gradually add this. So we're just going to coat the vegetables with the gram flour. So 1 cup should do. The next and the final step is to add a little water, very little water, just to make sure that it's all combined together. If you feel there's not enough gram flour sticking to the vegetables, you can add a little more. Make sure it's just coated. Take a kadai or a pot, pour enough oil, take a little bit of the pakora mixture and gently drop it into the oil to deep fry the pakoras. Enjoy your tea time with these delicious vegetable pakoras and have a lovely evening. You can get a copy of our first edition of the home cooking book on Amazon and 21 Frame.